Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. We are going to have lots of fun today with an hour of power, with an hour where you will get your spirits lifted and engage in a dialogue that is super duper fun within our community. We're going to touch base on a lot of in-depth subjects on the metaphysical world, on spirituality, and especially the transition that we are having right now into the 5D world, the upgrade of human consciousness. And it is going to be fascinating. First off, let's see. I would like to introduce Julia Cannon, my partner, world traveler. We travel around the world teaching quantum healing hypnosis technique. And Julia is the daughter of Dolores Cannon, an incredibly beautiful, connective, in tune being that is so expressive and a source of so much wisdom. And I'm so happy to be doing these live sessions with her and traveling and helping to make the world a much better place. So thank you, Julia.
Thank you, Kaya. That is so sweet. My heart is so touched by that. Oh my gosh. Because I would not trade this life and what we do for anything. We have the work that we do, the life that we live, the love that we share. I mean, it is just so gorgeous. And thank you for being with me and being a part of all of this. I mean, it wouldn't be what it is without you. So thank you. Looks like we have people joining us.
Yes.
Yes, fantastic.
Hello from Spain. Gamma from Spain. Abundance Paul from Ludras. Yeah.
Is that Marian from Norway?
Norway, France, Toronto.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're coming in.
Wonderful, guys.
Canada, Ontario, Yay. Toronto. Here we go.
We love to see where you're from.
Yeah, everybody please chime in, say hello, let everyone know where you're from. This is a party.
I'm in Arkansas.
Yeah, we have Seattle. All right. Oh, good morning and blessings from Ohio. Good morning to you, Mari.
I love it.
Let's see. So
yeah, we're always
the
acknowledging
Netherlands,
the
Houston,
like, hey, United States,
Luxembourg,
Wisconsin, yay,
UK,
New Hampshire,
Japan, Miami, my home.
They're your neighbor.
Colorado. You know, it's really cool. Lately, we've been averaging about 20 to 25 different countries on our Facebook Lives. And it's so amazing to be connecting, you know, to have this type of resource available to us where we can just connect with everyone like this in real time. And you can feel the energy, you know, you can really, really feel the energy of everyone. And it's like a party where everybody just feel free to comment and share. And there's so much wonderful live feedback that's coming through.
Yes, mingle, everybody. Mingle amongst yourselves.
The bars are closed. So we have something way better than that. Bars, nightclubs, this is our own party.
Yay! I love it. From London, Kat.
Was that Kat? Good day to you. Israel.
Fantastic.
Bonjour Malta? From Montreal.
Is that Malta? Oh, originally Malta. Okay. We want to get to Malta one of these days.
We do. And Sarah's from Dubai. Sarah, how are you? Vibe Party. Italia. Love from England.
I love it. I love it.
So we're all filtering in now. Welcome. I'd like to begin by going over something that is on a lot of people's minds. We've gotten to a point now with the coronavirus where that initial phase of okay, what is happening to us? What is this thing? How can we deal with it? What is the solution? We've kind of worked through those pieces bit by bit by bit by bit. And now there's a much greater focus that's coming out, and that focus is on people now trying to do a bit of examination and think, okay, what was the cause of this? And it's on a lot of media now, and the leaders of the different countries are starting to talk about this. It's becoming a sort of heavy topic of curiosity. And there's a lot of emotion behind this as well that generates when you think what might have caused this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the causes of this, and we'll have an open discussion about this. So, coronavirus was created in a lab, and released by an accident. It was created in a lab and it was released as a biological weapon. It was created in a lab and one person released it without the permission of others. It was created in the wet market as a part of putting animals together and random chance of jumping from animal to animal. It was originally created in the animal kingdom and brought into the wet market, and it just happened. It's actually not even a virus. It's a bacteria. Those are a bunch of different ideas, right?
So are these different things that you've been hearing?
All
as the causes
of these
Okay.
are true.
Okay.
All of these scenarios exist.
Mm-hmm.
And any other scenario that you could think of in parallel versions of Earth, these scenarios all do exist.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what do you want to do with this? Is which scenario, now as things get more intense and the world looks to unravel this, look to yourself personally and think about which scenario serves you the most. Because there's going to be a lot of force and power. This is the force of the world behind this as they're looking for answers. There's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of stored up energy that's within this concept right now. So I'd ask you to think about the solution that allows the concept of forgiveness in it. That allows the concept of forgiveness to let this go. Because there's a version of Earth where this is not let go. There's a version of Earth, as the two Earths are splitting, major Earths, where this becomes a very big issue, and there's polarity, and there's blame and anger towards China, and there's retribution. And there's a quasi-war that's being started that's based off this fact of let's get back at them and really give it to them. And that's causing a reverberation action like this, and we'd be back to Atlantean times on the path of two major superpowers and maybe other countries diving into this and causing war and causing a more divided, visceral experience of pain and a continuation of this. There's also the version of Earth where the collective decides, okay, whatever, let's heal it. What's the weakest outcome to this? What's the weakest situation where this virus spread? And as I think about the different scenarios in my mind, I think about the fact of the virus spreading as a product of nature and humans getting a little bit too close to nature and working with nature in ways they're not necessarily meant to work with. And the virus just made its move. And it's a thing that we learn from. And in fact, we decide that we're going to allow wild animals in nature and bats and other organisms to live in peace. They don't need to be the principle of our examination and our exploration into things. They don't need to be our food when there's other ways of eating. They don't need to be mixed in other animals with other animals in these situations and taken and put in cages. If we learn from this and we realize to let bygones be bygones and to let these animals be in peace in their natural environments and step back and look at that as the cause of the coronavirus and that is the solution, the answer there drives us closer into the 5D world, deeper and deeper. This is the question is where do you wish to reflect? What direction do you wish to go? Where do you wish to align your beliefs and your heart energy and your focus? Right now is a very important time for humanity. And it's very important for you as the individual to align, to be really clear of what you're looking to accomplish with the expansion of this. And if you're on the call right now, you are part of this 5D shift. And I welcome you to create the best possible circumstance for yourself, for your loved ones, for the earth, and to spread that. And to realize there may be media sources that predict things and state things, but hold true to your beliefs in the direction that you want them to go. And your world will create your reality, and your vision will create your reality, and will be well on the path to the new earth, driving even deeper, because now it's the path of acceleration. We're moving quickly. You've had your time, plenty of time now, to go into a world that doesn't have as much happening, that demands you, that's pulling you. There's no travel, driving, things of that nature. You've been back into your home. You've been able to look at your life from different directions. You've been able to see the world from different directions and understand, this is an opportunity for my life, an opportunity to really do something special here. So, think about these things. Think about what you prefer. Open your heart and step into the energy that allows you to feel best and allows us to transform in the best way possible. That's how I'd like to begin.
And I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, it's as far as, I love how you presented that. We have all these options out here. And they have compared this many times to whatever you want to call a smorgasbord or a buffet or different things. You have all these choices of what to eat. What is it you want? And at first we're taking part of everything because we're not sure what we want. So we'll just take it all or, and see what we like and what we don't like. And then as we are going further into it, we start realizing, oh no, this is what I really like and I want more of that. Rather than eating things or taking things that you really don't want or don't like, but at first it was just sampling. Remember, you're sampling just to see what you want more of. And now we can go and it's like, okay, this is it. And that's what this has been. It's been a calming time, get off the hamster wheel time so that you can reevaluate what is out there, what's on that buffet and what it is that, it's about picking and choosing what we want. It's not just about taking what's served anymore, just taking whatever comes to you. It's now you are choosing and you're very aware that you're choosing. That's the big difference between now and a few weeks ago, a few months ago, a few years ago, is we were doing so many things unconsciously and just doing it because. And we had little inklings. It's like, okay, some things can happen. But now that's what they're saying. That was this huge time. That was what this was about, so that we would get on this track of total responsibility for our choices. So it's up to each and every one of us to decide what it is we want. Collectively, we have done this so that we can get on this fast track, get this movement going, and get this learning, it's accelerated. Like Kaya said, it is so accelerated. And that's why sometimes you may feel like you're in a topsy-turvy spin-a-whirl, thing. It's because we are moving. It's like there's no time for this unconscious. Oh, they're saying no time for this unconscious shit. I mean, it's go now, go. So be responsible, make your choices. Know that you're doing it. We are such powerful creators. Now create the world that you want. And that's done by choosing, making your choices. And if you don't like what you choose, then choose something else. You don't have to stay with that. Remember, this is part of what we're sampling, and we're moving around trying to decide what it is that I want, go from there. Okay, that one, okay, it was okay, but I think there might be something better. We'll keep going and see. It's okay. This is your, oh boy, this is your life. This is why you're here. They're scanning, guys. This is weird stuff that's going on with me right now. Okay. I was trying to see if there's anybody still working out stuff or like from past or whatever. And it's so minuscule. It's like it's really hard to even detect it. So this is where we all are. Now we're into this lane of making, and this is a shift. This is a huge shift for people to make, to go from working all these other things out and always dealing with, for lack of a better word, karma. It's always doing these things and trying to make everybody happy and do all these things for everybody else and working on all those things. And now we're shifting into this lane of, we're still helping people and doing things like that, but it's what do each and every, what do you want?
Yes.
What is it you want?
Yes.
And we're on the fast lane of that. So this is what's creating everything. So the choices and the thoughts you think and the words you say, that is where we are and what's in the heart. All of this connects. Thoughts, words, heart. In alignment. If those aren't in alignment, this is a big deal apparently. Okay, if those aren't in alignment, you're going to get some pretty chaotic things going on in your life, because that's what it's trying to show you. Everything in your outer world is reflecting your inner world. So if you've got some weird things popping up and down and moving around and everything, and it's like they don't make a lot of sense, it's because these are not in alignment and they're not making sense. Okay? So get clear. Get clear. And that comes from your sampling. You will figure it out, but get clear on what it is you want. Oh my gosh. Who doesn't feel like they deserve this? That's your lesson. You wouldn't have picked this if you didn't deserve it. Okay? You absolutely deserve it. And by doing this, because you're feeling either you're not worthy or it's something about the people around you. You are worthy. And as you do this, then you are now setting the example for all those around you and what they can do. That's the only reason people aren't in worlds of abundance, is because they don't believe they deserve it or they can have it. But as soon as one person starts doing it and being their world and being in the world of their choice and living in that abundance, then that gives others an example and permission to do the same. Because like Kaya, like you were saying, we're hit with the media constantly. And that's probably one of their biggest messages is, you poor person, you shouldn't be doing these things or whatever they're trying to put out there and stuff. But the thing is we do have, this is what we have, our minds, our words, and so our thoughts and our words and our hearts. And those working in alignment together for what we want is unstoppable, is untouchable.
Very well said.
Oh, thank you. There's some heavy, we did a lot of moving of energy before we ever came on because we could feel it. And I can't even see the comments over here right now. I think, I don't know if it's the energy or what, my things are a little bit blurred. But I'll say it's energy. Yeah. Let's go with that one. Okay. But there's some stuff going on out there, and this is part of this. I think there was a question, is like all these things that I'm feeling and all the things, is that part of this ascension? Is that part of this growth? Is that part of the whole virus thing? Yes, it is. This is all, we're purging stuff. We're moving through things. We're moving through energies. We're letting things go. We're on this new path. Yes, it's going to be a little uncomfortable at first until we get, used to this road. And it's okay if you have some training wheels on. They're showing me training wheels. It's really funny. It's okay to use training wheels for a while, but pretty soon you'll be going so fast you won't need them. They'll just fall off, and you won't even realize they're gone. It's just that gorgeous. It's okay. You can just go at your own pace. Just go at your own pace and give yourself permission to do so. Oh, that's feeling a little bit better. Okay. And see, this is something that's been happening to me more and more and more as we go through this. I'm feeling energies like never before. I'm picking up stuff from people and through these shows and everything that like never before. And so I'm working with this myself, and so if you're having anything like that going on, it's like, I don't understand this. We're becoming more and more of who we really are. Now that's exciting, and that's kind of what does that mean? It could be scary, but let's go with excitement. I mean, it's your choice, whatever one you want to do, but I understand. I just want you to know I understand completely what you're going through, because I myself am going through it. And I tell you, it's fine. It's okay. Breathe, and you can do things. I have this thing, it's called the Golden Infinity. I just do it with my hands. I don't know if you can see my hands. I can try to get where I can. But anyway, it's like if you did an infinity with your hand, the symbol, and then I do it away from myself and toward myself from right out front of my solar plexus. All right, and this is a way to set intent, but it represents ease and flow. Ease and flow. And so it's wonderful about calming energies around you, between you and other people, you and events, you and other circumstances. And it really helps and that's what I was doing before the show, is to help, kind of help the energies be a little bit easier and stuff. So I encourage you, if any of you can feel that, who are my energy workers around here? I know there's some out there, just if you can feel it, usually people can. But anyway, if you're getting more and more sensitive, wonderful. That's why you came here. That's what you wanted to do. Fantastic.
I can share a little story about something that's been happening to me that's pretty crazy. Like, I'm into just setting up my life, my health, my sleep, my diet. I'm just obsessed with calibrating my life in the most healthy way that I can for my growth, for peace of mind, for calmness, and for energy that I have available to me that I can use in the direction that I really feel a passion for growing. And part of that is my sleep calibration. So I go out of my way to sleep really well. I bring the temperature down to 68 degrees, which is really cold for Miami.
Really cold for you.
2 hours before bed, I start getting the temperature down. I try and go to sleep at the same time every night. I make sure the room is really dark. I put the there's little caps you could put over the little lights when little lights are on in the room, these red lights and blue lights and things that keep you awake. So I'm doing all these things. And then to keep the room as dark as possible. And then on top of that, lately I've been wearing an eye mask to keep it really dark. And the same thing keeps happening. Consistently, it's been happening every night between about 3:30 and about 5:15 in the morning. At some point in there, I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I get this, I'm seeing this really bright light. It is so bright. It's the brightest light I've ever seen. It's a light that I can't experience in physical reality, because I think you would just close your eyes or turn away. But since it's not really working through my eyes at all, but I'm still feeling the stimulation of the brightest light possible. And and luckily we've been working these processes too and understanding light energy and source energy, and through our sessions, in these hypnosis sessions that we get into and explore source and explore universal consciousness and explore higher dimensional reality, star consciousness, and all these energies. I feel very, very comfortable when I'm in the presence of bright light, and there's no jolt about it. There's nothing that's uncomfortable about it or scary about it. I've just been, when that happens and the lights turn on, there's always that first reaction of, oh, is it the morning already? Like, wow, that went by so fast. And it's wow, is it a bright day? Like, it's so bright out. And then I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's not bright out. My room is not lit up at all. It's pitch black. I'm having an experience. This is part of my experience. And I lay back down and I bring back in the light and I take a few breaths and I go into it. And so I imagine my body going into the light completely and sort of disintegrating and feeling a sense of unity into the light. And as I go faster into it, I've been feeling the earth. I've been feeling like a spherical form and also a triangular portal-like energy, like a triangle of energy. And I've been feeling human consciousness now in this shift. It's going through this portal and it's going through this gateway. And in this gateway, it's going from the physical into lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And when you're loose and you're free and you don't have anything that you're carrying that's weighting you down, that's heavying, you pass through the light. The human bodies are passing through the light, and the collective as a whole is passing through the light in a smooth fashion. What gets bumpy is when we're holding on to something and we're kind of getting through, and then it's a push and it's a pull and it's a push. When we're holding on to these things, these human things that we know don't serve us, and when we think about it, saying, well, that doesn't help me at all, thinking that I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat, I'm too smart, I'm too dumb, I'm the paradox of twos. Humans are constantly thinking, I'm too this, I'm too this, I'm too that. I can't do this. I can never do that because I'm too this or I'm too that. You're all of those things and you're none of those things. You're what you want to be. It's redefining yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror and realizing if you're holding any twos with you that you don't need. You take the twos and you can throw them aside. It's also holding on to grudges. It's also keeping a focus on that which is wrong and wanting to make it right, but coming from a place of demanding that it's a right and grabbing it and trying to shift it and muscle it into what we feel is right. And that forms a lot of resistance. So it's the feeling of envy. It's a feeling of vengeance. In some ways, it's a FOMO, the fear of missing out, that comes through, and these feelings that creep and pull and all set you aside. We are meant to be pure, clean energy that is limitless and ready to flow through. So it's a good time if you wake up at those times like I do. It's kind of 4 is the center point, and it extends out from there. If you catch yourself waking up at that time, and it doesn't need to be light stimulation, but if you feel you're awake at that time, I'd invite you to have a little fun with this and maybe connect into that energy and take a look and feel of yourself of how you're going through it. And now with your conscious mind, think to yourself, what am I holding on to? Do I feel in any part of my life, do I feel as an individual that I was wrong? Do I feel like I'm a victim in any level? Am I holding on to a victim? Am I not getting something because someone else out there is not letting me? Or the market's just bad? Or the government? Or Trump? He's the fault. Or any of our other political leaders? Or the financial systems? Or anything? Or the healthcare system? It's not working right. All of these things, holding these things and saying it's not right because of them, I'm the victim in all this. The victims aren't passing through. Because at its core, a victim must call out its victimhood and bring in those that are willing to mesh that energy on the other side and prey on a victim. But it's you that's bringing that out. It's you that's calling out to the universe, please come and eat me as the prey, devour me. I am a victim expressing myself. And to balance out that energy, I'm calling in an aggressor. And you realize that there are no victims, that it's all a creation of yourself and a harmonizing of energies to see that manifest itself. Set that free. There's no need for that. And when you hear victims in your life, in your world, and people saying how they're such a victim of this and a victim of that, realize on a higher level that all of this is decided and agreed to in this earth experience. Whether you stay in the earth experience for 100 years, 50 years, 10 years, 2 years, or you don't even make it in, this was the choice, because the earth is the party. The earth is the place where this incredible energetic transformation is going from the deeply, deeply physical, dense beings that have forgotten everything, that are doing the grand experiments. I'm going to forget it all. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do the craziest of the craziest. I'm disconnecting the source line. I'm clipping it. I'm going in this place. We're all going to come together and we're going to think nothing else exists out there. We were here because of random chance, and there's been upgrades based on natural selectum randomly. This has not been orchestrated by anything out there, higher intelligence, source energy, randomly. The collective is still, or we'll give away our power to institutions and religions, governments. Call out as victims and let the governments take control of our realities. That's part of the earth experience that's been called out a lot, potentialities. And now we're shifting away from that. And you, listening now, we are the tip of the spear of the energy that's moving forward into this. Mm-hmm. Pushing through this, and it's getting faster and faster and faster. So loosen up, take a good look inside, see what you're holding on to. See if there's any part of a vengeful side that may be present, part of you that maybe wants to get even. I want to get even with that person. I want to get even with that group. Or I want to get even with China, the collective. There's a push on the collective right now to go that direction. Talked about in the beginning. Instead, focus on your direction, the direction that you want to go. And that transition through the gateway into the world is going to be smooth, and it's going to be beautiful as we go into the other side. And you're going to be very, 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 very proud of yourselves for the work that you're doing, leading to your heart and through your heart and into the world. It's an amazing time. Now's the time to make the most of it and express yourself. Express yourself as fully as you possibly can. Constantly. Mm-hmm. Express who you really are. Do not hold back. Now is not the time to hold back. When you sense, when you feel, when you hear, it's your time to show your vibration, to show your wisdom, to unleash it to the world in whatever way you feel fit. That's what I have to say about
that. So there. And I felt like toward the end there when you're saying that was a collective and where we could go. And I felt people thinking or feeling, well, but how can I influence the collective? How can I influence this to not happen? How do I have any power to do anything? And you've got to know just how powerful you are. Every individual person is the most powerful person. You yourself, you are at the core. You are the center of your universe, and you are at the center of your world as you're making it. And so when you are doing what is in alignment for you and is right for you, then that starts sending out ripple effects. Like I said before, you're setting examples, and you're teaching others. things like that too. It's like when you're giving them permission as well to do the same thing or to do whatever. It's not to do the same as you. It's to do what's right for them. That's what is being taught, because we don't always get taught that. We don't always, it's like we have to do what's right for everybody else. We're not taught to go inside. And that's why I think some of us have issues with that or have problems even knowing what we want, is because we've not really been taught that. We've been taught to just go along with everything, and and just follow this, we're going to lead you where you need to go. And now we're saying, you know what? It's yours. You can choose and be clear about it. And so that can be a little bit of a challenge if this is new to you. And so, but when you start doing that, that's where that buffet comes in again. It's, you're picking different things to figure out what it is you like and you don't like. That's a great place to start. Even if all you know is what you don't like. Wonderful. That's a great place to start. But now, as you're moving and doing these things, see that others are seeing you. Others are watching, just like you're watching others, just this is all moving. And so as you make changes in your life, people will notice. And you don't have to say a thing. They will learn by example. They'll see what you're doing. It gives them permission. And then that's a ripple. And then as they do things, there's a ripple. See, it starts rippling out. And if you can see that, that's going out and out and out and out. And that's how the world is affected. That's how one person can impact the world. You've got to understand your power.
Wonderful. Stay in your power.
Yes.
Dedicate time to recognizing when you're in your zone of power and when you're not. And when you are, you're loose and you're free and things are flowing. And there's none of that resistance from the ego saying, oh, what about that? Oh, maybe you shouldn't do it that way. Oh, I don't know about this. Oh, this is scary. When you're in your flow and you're in your power, that voice is always there, but you're just not listening. You're listening to the heckler. You're just moving forward in your zone. Now, when you catch yourself going into that fear and hearing the kind of heckler, wow, maybe this can happen. The worst thing that can happen is this.
What if?
If that happens, and the heckler is usually telling you it's really creative. The heckler's thinking of the worst possible thing that can happen, the absolute worst in the situation, and then trying to get your attention with it. That is our little bit of challenge now. And understand, the heckler doesn't go away. The heckler is there to protect you. The heckler's been there for quite some time. And now's the time to realize that there'll be that heckler. There's other hecklers. That's a reality that's present. But it's your choice what direction you're going to go. And so instead of listening and putting weight into the heckler, you appreciate the heckler for what he's attempting to do. There you go, little heckler. You can continue. Thank you for your work. I know that you mean well and you're trying to protect me, but you can set aside now. I'm going into a different world where my fears do not hold me back. And that's the world that we're shifting into. That world of hecklers not holding us back, of false evidence appearing real, not being the main driver of our progression or lack thereof. It's a whole new world that's coming upon us.
I just saw a question over here in the chat box. I hope we get to the new earth soon. Okay. I'm glad you said that. I really am, because that is part of the illusion or the confusion, whatever we want to call it, is, guys, we're already here. We're already in the new earth. We're already here. And that's what this is all about, is showing us how to actually transition into it. We're already here. I was told in 2011, guys, 9 years ago, that it had already happened. It had already occurred. And you will see it when you believe it. And I know we did a show previously about this, but that is what it is. As long as we're constantly waiting, well, when this will happen or whatever. We're always pushing it out there. We're waiting for some major event to make it happen, or we're waiting for whatever, this something to be it. It's done. It's already happened. And it's all now. That's why everything has shifted in how we manifest. If you noticed, it's like instant now. That's why we're talking about this, is understand your thoughts and your words and your heart, put them in alignment, because that's when you will see things, because you are believing it, you are manifesting it. It's all a world of your creation. This is where we are. So I encourage you to start believing you're already here, because if you will do that, then you will see the reality of it. Remember, whatever you believe, you start pulling into you. You are creating and you're attracting that to you to support your belief system. And, I just heard somebody go, this is a bunch of poppycock. Okay.
Poppycock. They're British. They're obviously British.
Because that you could do that with anything. Well, yes, you can, because that's where we are. And it's like, which world do you want? It is that simple, guys. It's that simple. Now, just like Kai was saying, you have all these choices. You have all these choices of which world you want to live in, which world you want to be your reality. It's just choose. I was going to say choose wisely, but my wise may not be your wise. My truth may not be your truth. It's okay. Just take responsibility for the choices you make. If that's the world you want, if those are the thoughts you want to think, and those are the things you want to have in your life, then fantastic. I applaud you for manifesting exactly the world that you want. That's it. What you want is probably not what I want. That's okay. I'm not trying to push my world on you. In this reality, how many people are on the earth now, Kaya?
Billions. I don't know the exact
number. Seven something or 8 billion, whatever it is. Understand, with that many people, there can be that many different earths, that many different realities. That is what we're doing, because each one of us is creating the world that we want. So that is how it is. We're not all just moving along like cattle, living in whatever they tell us to live in. Okay. And as long as we're constantly going, when is this going to happen? What if, and all this, we're still waiting for someone to tell us what to be and what to do and and I just want you to know, we're at this point of self-responsibility and self-manifestation and this is what we've been shooting for. And now we're here, and that's what we are wanting to just give a little guidance as to how to navigate that. I mean, I think it's funny because we've been wanting this for so long. We've been going for this, and then I hope I didn't take the wind out of your sails by saying, "Hey, it's already done." You know, it's like, but oh, okay. Now what do I do? And that's now live it. Live your truth. Live your life. You're here. You got here. You made it. Now, be it.
And important to remember, as you shift completely into this 5D reality, you are no longer a being that is driven by your past. Your past dissolves in this world that we're entering into, and your past no longer has any weight whatsoever in the new world that we're entering. And what you are is your now, that is full of possibility and within your grasp to align in whatever direction that you want. So those old beliefs, those old systems, those old experiences, those old things, you may be now starting to lose your memory of it. You may be starting to think, was that really real or was that a dream? I have absolutely no idea if I actually experienced that or not. I know that I've had multiple conversations lately where I was talking to my friend, and one of the things I had to say was, listen, when you did you have ice cream? Were you eating that new kind of ice cream in that video? Because I was craving the ice cream, and now I'm going to try and find that ice cream, but I can't remember if I even saw your video or was just dreaming. And that's my life now, is when I look back into the past, I don't know if it's a dream or if it's real. And I have to put a lot of energy into it to try and crystallize it into something that I can grasp and pull from, because I don't need to take stuff from it any longer, because what I really need comes to me right in the instant. It's an instant manifestation. It's an instant gravitation of the moment, and attributed to the fact of now veils are coming off and we can handle the instant manifestation of the moment. Before, we needed the protection barrier in the 3D world to prevent us against our own thoughts. We needed a greater time space. Well, if I think of a really messed up thought, let's build in this buffer so you don't have to experience this messed up thought, and you have a little bit of time in between to figure, oh, this is kind of painful. I don't want this thought to completely manifest itself. Okay, woo, buffer zone. Wow. Thank you, humankind, for the buffer zone. That's the less evolved portions of us, right? Throw that aside now, and we can experience and deal with that instant manifestation, those instant synchronicities, and the all now as being our reality and the energy we draw through. And you can look to your future as your driving force and pull the wisdom in from your future as your barometer. We've had this huge fascination of our culture with psychics, with people getting their horoscopes read and reading the stars, and we've been reading leaves to try and figure out what our future's in. We've been looking to a lot of different sources to figure out this future thing for all of us. And I'm at the front of the line in doing that. I've been loving psychics. Like, I've been fascinated by psychics. Since I was a kid, I liked psychics. I've always liked astrology. I've always gone to these things. I've always been looking for these things. And now I'm starting to realize that the psychic is within. The psychic is there ready to be unleashed. You just got to be comfortable listening and stepping into your own psychic energy. Hold your own crystal ball next time you're thinking that you need someone else. No disrespect to psychics. You still have a job. If there's psychics out here, love everything you're doing. Don't mean to put you out of a job. However, when you think about your life and your desired reality and your preferences, hold your crystal ball out, look into the light, and feel the heart energy within that crystal ball, and feel a connection to your future self through heart energy. And if you use that as a doorway within your crystal ball, there is symbolism in that. There is power in that. There is a way to get that energy from that and bring you in alignment with that me, that you can feel yourself, that you know yourself, and close that gap and get closer and closer. It's something you can do very easily and open that doorway. We are our own psychics now in this world, in this version of reality that we're traveling.
Absolutely. And they've been saying that for a few years now, as far as, we've always been told we have the answers. We already have all the answers within. And, but now it's like, it's getting more and more. They really are emphasizing, they keep saying, it's time to be your own guru. It's time to be your own psychic. You have the answers. Stop going outside of yourself, giving your power away. It's fine. And this is where I find psychics and these different modalities really, really helpful, is as guidance, or confirmation for my own hits, my own things that I'm getting. And sometimes it's like, and then they're helping me to kind of navigate a little bit. It's just, don't give your power away. That's all, because you have all of that power within. And that's what they're showing you. If you're around some really, really good, people that really are tapped in, guess what that's showing you? We have mirrors around us all the time. And so that's showing you have this ability as well. And that's encouraging you to do that. Like, yeah, it's take that power. This is huge right now, because so many of that's, like you're saying, the victimhoods. If you're, and there's so many ways to be a victim. We have been taught all our lives how to be victims, and they have really clever disguises. And so sometimes we're doing it and don't even realize it. But if
Yes.
any time you're feeling, it's like you're giving, your power, if you're giving power to someone else, that's what a victimhood is. You're giving power away, and it's not, doesn't, like I said, doesn't mean don't help people. That's not it at all. It's everybody stays in their power, and it's not this dependency. So dependency that's the same kind of thing. It's everybody's, as long as it's agreed upon, well, it's just okay if that's what you want again. but it goes back to in your power, be in your power and do what you want by your choice. So see, that's taking responsibility for your choices. If you want to be a victim, then take responsibility for it. You were starting to say something, Kaya.
I have a question from Moni.
Okay.
She's saying, are we smart enough to build our own future and our collective future? And yeah, that I have the answer to that. We are more than smart enough. We are our future. It is a product of us. And taking that even further within each of us, when we look through within, we have our own universe within that we can go into and build and reflect and design, and it's there for everyone all the time. It is a part of your existence. It is not a function of even being smart enough to get into it. Being smart helps in this world. However, it's more of being open and loving enough to experience it. The difference is connecting into your heart energy as the doorway to go into your own inner universe that you can tap into at any time. And in your own inner universe, you have a mirror of the other outer universe. And you can create whatever you want in that, and they are reflective of each other. And they're connected as part of quantum entanglement, which is a pretty incredible concept. By going within, you can create whatever you want that is from without, what is from outside. So yes, you are more than smart enough. You are capable and incredibly powerful, and your tools are at your disposal, ready for your use.
It's reminding me something I was told again a while back. I think it was when all this was really first starting to be aware that things were happening, and it was something my mother would say. It's like, as far as like we're put over here, in the universe, we're kind of isolated over here. And she made it sound like it was the dredge of society kind of thing. And so I think that's where some of these feelings come from. Are we smart enough? Are we good enough? Can we handle this? Can we do this? It may come from that kind of thought process. But what I was given repeatedly, every time she would say that, it would just like, it's like a scratching, the needle on a record kind of thing. It would just like, or the fingernails on a chalkboard. It was like, it's not, that just didn't feel right when she would use those words. And I was always correcting her. They were correcting her. And it was like, you have to understand that in order to be here, to be on this planet at this time, you had to have a golden ticket. And only master manifestors got those. So you are a powerful creator being. That was all that could be here during this time to do what was happening and to what is happening. And that's where I'm always like saying, we are great and powerful beings. We just forgot. And this is us we're remembering now. So all of this shakeup and everything that's happening is to get us to remember who we are, remember that we are powerful. Everything wants to keep us down here for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. I think it's the challenge that we built into this game, this project, so that, because hey, we're so great, we get bored. We get bored easily, and we designed this thing so it would be a challenge. So when we get through it, we really have something to be excited about. We did it. We remembered who we were, and we made it through it. We got there. That we had set up some huge challenges for ourselves. So that just shows how fantastic you are. Look what you did, and you're coming through it. Kudos. Pat yourselves on the back. That's who we are. We are golden ticket master manifestors.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So stop selling yourself short. We are all here. We are all in this together, and we are helping each other through.
Very well stated. I see a comment from Ashley that I think is relevant and really nice to add to the conversation. She says, I hope people realize there's nothing wrong with people who are in 3D. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they are. It's not high and mighty to be in 5D. How can you know what 5D is if you were never in 3D? So those people have a purpose too. And that's something that's really, really nice to inject, because it is not a function of being better by expanding your view of things and going into your preferred reality. Your preferred reality is no better than anyone else's preferred reality. It may benefit you more in the long run, and it may have more positivity associated with it and more positive sentiment and more feelings of good and evolution and be more coherent and uniting. But that's not necessarily better, because as we expand to this, we realize that it's all a choice. It's all an experience. And those that are choosing to experience something different, let them have their fun.
Absolutely. It's perfectly fine. Yes.
When you're a child in the playground and you like to go on the thing that has the ladder, the inverted ladder, is that any better than the slide? Or the sandbox? I mean, we're all unconditionally loved, and we can go where we need to go in the order that we need to go, and we're going to get there eventually.
Yeah, we're all getting to the same place. It's just we're just taking different paths and different ways and different experiences and different experiences to get there.
So when you see the elements of the 3D world and something sparks a nerve in you where you feel like, oh, that's messed up, like that's wrong, realize that it may not be your intention. It may not be in alignment with the direction you know is best for you and the 5D world. However, it just is, and it's not affecting you. That's where this is going, is as we're going into this 5D world, we have a tendency of being more affected, very affected, maybe emotionally feeling a sense of jarring or hurt or pain by experiencing the 3D. When the 3D experiences the 5D, it's not quite that. They're just like, that's a bunch of hooey. Oh, yeah, that stuff. This is the real world. You got to be tough. You got to be tough. You got to fight fire with fire. You got to get yours while you can. Here's a good one I hear. I'm out to protect my family. I will protect my family over all others. That's definitely a call that's unique to humanity, and a segregative call of, okay, it's us against them and the small group that I choose to call my family. We're all family. We're all the family. There's no need to bring in the guns to protect the intermediate family. Welcome your true family, your full family, with love and affection and desire. I forgot where I even started that one.
No, it's okay. I did too. I think that was good.
Memories are gone. That was the past.
Exactly. And just stay out there. I mean, you may have already done that when you mentioned it before. If you're having some of this, and I just saw somebody say, what are the attributes of being in 5D? Let me see exactly how you said it. It was Gloria here. What did she say? Get back to you here. These are going by so fast. There's something about, what are the attributes of 5D? I don't remember the other part of it though. But that's, it's being completely in the present. And you're not held back. You're not held back by the past or the future. How many of us hold ourselves back by the future? It's like as we put everything out there, and so we won't live in the now. And the thing is, just to live in the now and be fully present in the now. And then you have, that creates the future, and even better than you could have even imagined it. but it's when we're always out here or we're always out there, the energy is not here in the present, then see, that's how we hold ourselves back. We're all over the place, with fears of the past holding us back, fears of the future. What if, like you're saying, it's like that little, like, what were you calling him? The hacker?
Heckler.
Yeah. We can say the heckler, the little monkey on your shoulder, whatever, it's got to have his say. And he has a perfectly wonderful role. I mean, he is there to help create balance. But the thing is, acknowledge him. And it's like, okay, thank you. But what if this, maybe this could happen? It's like he's out there just to be, it's like just to remind you of all the most horrible things that could possibly happen. And, it might be that might not happen. It might be that something better would happen. So it's like, if we can just put that out there to kind of balance it, and then live fully, be in the now, and be completely present with whatever you're doing now. And then that is setting the course for the future. And this is where we are now. I mean, I know before it's we have to make all these plans. We have to do all these things, for the future. But this 5D, it's not about that. It's not about the future. It's about the now. And then living fully in the now creates the most absolute beautiful future you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling that one was a little harder to come out. So I think either that wasn't said right, or I got a lot of resistance with that. That last part.
I thought it was very well spoken.
Okay, well, thank you.
Another question coming in that's very interesting. I see Gemma. She's saying and this is interesting. It's interesting. I like seeing these types of questions because it's fairly common, and it deals with our sensitivities as we're expanding into this 5D world and being more sensitive.
Right.
So she says, for empath people like me, it is very difficult to not feel what other people feel all the time. What can we do about this? How can we stop feeling other people's emotional world? Is it very difficult to manifest or create from these feelings? You want to take a go with that first, and I can hop on? Yeah. And by the way, Julia before we came on, you were crying, right?
I was feeling something so heavy, and it was like high heart, and it was just really heavy, and it was so much so it was making me start to cry. I was wanting to cry. So I don't know if that's where someone was, or when we right before the show, or is where they're at, but I was picking up on something because I know it's not mine. So I'm picking up on somebody or some people's stuff, but it's really heavy heart stuff. But the fact that it's coming from the high heart, that. And see, I'm not feeling it right now, so I think it's been dissipated, which is wonderful. But I totally understand, picking up stuff. But so there's first is recognizing if it's yours or not, and that helps tremendously when it's not yours, it is other people's, and then that helps you to kind of maneuver. When it's your own stuff, okay, well, then that's something for you to do. If it's not yours, then you take a different action, acknowledgement, whatever. It's not that you need to protect yourself. This is our connection to people. These are, they come out, but it's just first off, when it's not yours, that immediately shifts what's happening there. So then it's nothing to protect yourself from. Now you're just touching heart to heart with other people. And I feel it's just, I'm trying to decide if it's something you need to do anything with, because we're always wanting to do things. We want to fix things. And I think it's not so much that as just understanding, and like in a medium like this, a forum like this, we can touch each other. We can come together and share heart to heart. And I can tell you that I was feeling that's some of the things I was saying earlier. That's why I was saying those, is because I could feel that somebody's going through some tough stuff, and it's really hitting the heart. And they're feeling they're not now, they were feeling really despondent and stuff. And so sometimes it's just just being out there, being authentic and sharing our love, sharing our hearts with each other, and showing each other that we're all in this together, and that's what I feel like that's about. It's just helping relate to other people. To me, when I get these, it's just helping me to understand someone else and how to talk to them, how to relate to them, and what it is that they may need at that point. It doesn't mean I need to fix them. It just means it helps me to understand and be a little more compassionate, be something, it helps my beingness, and then to share. And then I think also by that, because I was working with the energy, because I was feeling that, I think it went out. See, that's how connected we are. As all of these things, yeah, we have these abilities, but so does everybody else. We're all beautifully connected. We always have been, but now we're feeling it. And that's why we're picking up on these things. And so that's just telling us we know when someone else is hurting. We know when someone else is happy. We know when someone else is going through something. So we can hug them. We can embrace them. Maybe we can't physically right now, but we can energetically. And there's no difference in that. Because if you can feel their heart, then they can feel your hug. They can feel you coming back and saying, I'm sorry. I'm with you. I can, whatever I can do, I'm here. I've got you. It'll be better. How many times is that? We just need somebody to say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm here if you need me. Okay. And that's all we want is emotional support. Just someone I'm right here. It's okay. And then that gives them enough to go on and do what they need to do. Okay. So that's how I feel. It's like, it's not something to shut off and protect yourself from. This is a gift. This is an ability. This is something you innately have. You came in with this, and now it's just about understanding how to work with it. It's not always comfortable. In fact, I said that to Kaya. I said, this isn't always fun, to feel these feelings that others have. It's not always fun. It's fun to do this. I love doing this. I love working with all of you. I love being with you. But when I feel some of these things, when it's that heavy and stuff, that's always a fun thing to do. But I love it. I absolutely love that I can be connected to another person in that way, and feel these feelings, and then just do whatever it is that comes to. See, they're saying do whatever it is that comes to your heart to do, because as soon as you do that, as soon as you be that, you're helping the other person because you are connected. Okay. I hope that helps.
It's wonderful. Thank you. I had another question that was popping in here, and it dealt with something that comes into sessions often. Let's see. Higher self, Angelica. So many questions. Oh, here we go. From Justine. Can you talk about the flash that many people refer to in their sessions? Do you recall the flash?
Can we have a little more context?
Yeah, because that wasn't ringing a bell in terms of something that I've heard more than one person. I can't recall a flash. Sounds cool though, but I'm curious.
Yeah, and that's why I'd like more context to see what this is maybe about.
Yeah. And Julie, maybe while we're waiting for that to come in, when you talk about sessions, what does this session mean for those that are new on Highly Abundant? The concept session, they have no idea what that might mean. What's a session?
What's a session? Oh my goodness. Ooh, it's woo-woo. I just want you to know it's woo-woo stuff.
No, we're woo-woo here. It's okay.
Everybody's here? Okay. All right. Good. Woo-woo people are all cool. Anyway. Okay. A session it's a hypnosis session that you have with the practitioner. This technique that Kaya and I are going around the world and teaching, and now also we have some online courses, and we're starting another online course very soon, but we're teaching this everywhere. This is a hypnosis technique that my mother, Dolores Cannon, created and developed. And from her experience, she just was shown exactly what to do to help people to get in touch with this part of themselves that knows all these answers. Like this part keeps saying, you have all the answers. It's all within. Well, this technique will actually get you connected, get you in contact with that part of yourself that has all those answers. And it shows you exactly where this part is and how to communicate with it. And so, and this is really cool. Now, session itself will be, it's exploring all of your life. It's exploring what possibly happened in any other lives that could be relevant to what you're going through now. And then it goes to this part of yourself that has all this information. Some people call it the higher self, the oversoul, the super consciousness. That's why a lot of times we'll call it the SC. It's just this part of ourselves that has everything you could ever want to know. And it has all those answers for yourself. So we get in touch with that and ask all these beautiful questions, for you. And the thing is, it's coming through yourself. In a session, you are delivering the answers. So it's showing you how to make contact with this part. So then after a session, you can actually do this yourself in a conscious state. You don't need someone else to facilitate that for you anymore. And that, to me, is the most beautiful thing about this technique. It's called QHHT, or Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And that, to me, is the most beautiful thing because it is empowering each and every person to go inside and get their own answers. And we're showing them exactly how to do it. I love it for that. That's what I'm saying. Be your own guru. This way, you're a guru. You're able to get your own answers and get your own insight. You don't have to go outside anymore.
Anyone here in the chat, have you ever had a session done on you, or have you performed a session? Speak up and let the chat know. Yeah, for me, it was incredibly magical when I did my first QHHT session. I've always been interested in hypnosis. I thought it was really interesting to unlock the true power of the mind and to get into the dynamics of what really works and how to get us in alignment. But there was also a fascination that I had and a curiosity for past lives. I've always wondered, were past lives real? Like, did I have a past life? Was I something cool? Was it boring? What was a past life? And now, in going through this process, I've learned so much, and I've had so many sessions done on me and performed so many sessions. And it's really, really cool to understand where you're coming from and what your challenges were in these past lives and these future lives and future lives too, and other forms of consciousness. It gives you this greater feeling of who you really are. And when you see things in this world, there'll be these elements of attraction and these elements of, you think to myself, that past life, the explorer, like I was a French explorer in my first one, and we were in Hawaii, and I was on the front of the boat, and I was just kind of holding onto the boat, and we're going over the waves, and it was like boom, 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 and I was looking out into the water, and I was feeling the waves, and I imagined myself back in that life where suddenly I felt like my posture was stronger and we were going through this, and I felt like we're getting through this. And I felt that energy coming through me.
Look at your body language right now.
I felt that energy of fearlessness that was like coming in, and this is where we're going, and I needed that energy in that life. And just as I was feeling that, one of our practitioners from Montreal, she was French, she heard the story. She taps me on the shoulder, and she said, "Does this bring back any memories?" And I was like, wow. That is so crazy. It was like me to my past and her and this triangle of energy, and she was doing it right when that thought came in and the trigger of the water. And I was like, I'm not even going to ask how you knew that, because I don't need to ask. You were just tuning into me. And that's what I love about this is we have this like vehicle to tap into consciousness in really special ways and share experiences in this really 5D world. And I kind of joke around, but when we talk to practitioners, like we could bring up the fact of, I was walking through the woods and it maybe felt like there was a unicorn there or something. And they'd be like, oh yeah, unicorn? Yeah, I could see the unicorn too. A unicorn maybe going around, there's
around the rainbow.
Just accepting, there's no resistance of possibility and different forms of consciousness. And it's just amazing. And unbelievable how this is all playing itself out and how we're evolving in all of this. And it was so beautiful that your mom invented this technique, and I'm so grateful that she got to have you as her guinea pig and perform countless hypnotherapy sessions and hypnosis sessions and QHHT sessions on you and experimenting with the pendulum and having you bite onions and thinking they're apples. Thank you for that work as the grand as the grand guinea pig of this technique. We are very grateful.
My pleasure. My pleasure. But that was part of my journey, and I love it because that gave me that. I think that's part of what gave me the attitude of knowing there's nothing to fear and just play with it, go with it, and just see, because we were always experimenting with things. And so that was my whole path, was experimentation. So I know that you're fine. I know it's okay, and things happen, but you're always okay. You always come back to center. It may swing out here, one is like, whoa, go out here. But, I've been killed in a lot of different ways. I have died so many different deaths, but I'm back. And that's a cool thing to know, to remember when you see this, like, oh, because that's one of our greatest fears is dying. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Well, that's one beautiful thing about session is you see other lives and you see how you died. You see that you did die, and then you see that you're back. Yes. And it's all relevant. It's all okay. And it's like, you know what? It's okay because that wasn't me. That was another representation. That was just an experience I was having. It was another suit of clothes. So, just another costume. Just like this is one. Remember, we are not the body. We are souls having a physical experience. We are going through these experiences, and this is a really cool one we're having this one. So, but all of our lives, just like in this life, everything that we've done in the past is leading us up to where we are now. All of our lives are all things that are leading us to where we are now. Everything contributes. And so that's what's great about a session, is it just takes you into what's applicable, what's appropriate to see for where you are now. But just know that everything you've ever done is having relevance to here, where you are. And somebody really needs to hear that, because you're having a major shift coming in. You're like, you're in that whirlwind time where the whole world is shifting on you. In fact, you're having to step away from the world that you've been knowing, and it looks like loss. It looks like, it's all my stuff. I'm losing everything. I'm losing, that's how it looks. But it's actually you shedding. It's just you shedding this stuff so that you are freer to go and do what it is that you are here to do. I've had that happen. We have all had that happen. Kaya's had that happen. Every single person, I don't know if it's everybody, but it's definitely people on these paths, it seems like. We go through this. We go through this losing. It looks like, oh my gosh, why did I have to lose everything? I lost my entire life. That's how it looks. But guess what you don't lose when that happens? You don't lose yourself. You never lose yourself. You are always there. And that's when I had mine. I lost all my physical possessions. Everything I knew at that time was gone. My career was gone. Everything was gone. But what I could see, it was like it kept showing me like I'm sitting in a chair in a room that used to have stuff in it, but now everything was gone. It was an empty room. Now I'm sitting in the middle of that room in a chair. And that's what it was trying to show me. It's like, it doesn't matter how much stuff leaves. You are still there. All right. Now, I don't know. That was important to me, to realize that no matter what, I still have me and I go on. The stuff isn't what makes me. None of that stuff makes any of us. That's just our choosing. It's just what we like. But when we're shedding, it's probably because, they're showing me this beautiful caterpillar to the butterfly. We're shedding our old stuff, our old being, our old ways, so if we're going to do that, then that stuff leaves. It has to leave. It has to go so that you are stepping into the new world with those beautiful wings. You are coming out, the metamorphosis, and you are going to fly. You can fly now. Before we just did the little crawling, and that's all we knew. Just exactly. And then we go through this. Can you imagine? Let's put ourselves in the minds of a caterpillar. and what they go through. Isn't that amazing what they go through? They're just little caterpillar, and all they can do is crawl on the ground, and just little, they can't crawl very fast either. It's little bitty moves, and then when they come out and they go through that metamorphosis, they can fly. And now they're up above, and they have a whole different perspective of everything and freedom. I mean, it's like, so anyway, I don't know who this is for. But,
all with it.
But that's what we mean by the, your thoughts, your words, your heart. See, that's that metamorphosis. That's shedding. It's okay. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, we try to hold on to it. Oh my gosh, no, not this, not that. Oh no. I mean, I kept trying to hold on to my career, and they were like, no, it is gone. It was just like, stop it. But as soon as you will beautifully step into your life, your new life, the one that you have been creating. But so many times, I mean, that's why, when are we going to get to this new world? When are we going to get to this new life? When are we going to get here? How about as soon as you step into it? How about as soon as you let the stuff go and you step into it? That's all it's waiting for. So fly.
Butterfly. I see something in the commenting section. There are some people asking about QHHT practitioners, and they may want to have one set up for themselves. If there are practitioners out there, why don't you guys just make sure you chime in and just say where you're from, so they'll be able to see in the thread of comments the different cities that are available to them that have practitioners.
And you can also go on the website, QHHTofficial.com, and just go under find a practitioner, and you can search for your area, search for practitioners. But definitely, if they're in this group, if they're in this chat room, I'd want to start here.
I want to start here. You're in this, obviously you're dedicated to this mission of the 5D especially, and you're taking your time to go in and nurture the soul and get charged up. So I think it's a great place to start here, with our group and connecting. And yeah, I mean, I tell you, and it's so wonderful when we do teach classes and we come back and there's days where you actually practice in class, and you come back and then we get to hear all the stories of the sessions. And it's just mind-boggling, like hearing the stories and the joy and the feelings and the emotions, like of the lives that were explored. And it's better than any movie. You think Netflix is good? Yeah, Netflix doesn't compare to this.
Can't touch this.
Stuff up, like you cannot make this stuff up. It comes in these past lives and these other lives. They're just like, whoa, it's wild, and it's you. Mm-hmm. So you're actually connected to, you're not connected to the guy in the movie of Netflix. It's just like a person, but this is you. It's your own experience. Mm-hmm. That's what's so neat. So introducing one another and, connecting in the chat, I think it's really great to say, where you're from in the city. And because that's what this is meant to be. We're first of all meant to have a party here. We're meant to connect and communicate. We're meant to share, because we are much stronger together than we are apart. And yeah, being in sync and helping each other elevate. That's what this is all about.
Very good.
Very
good. And if, it's like you want a session, and if you feel like maybe this is something you would like to do, we have classes, we have courses online, we teach courses live. As soon as we can get back on the road and do them live, we'll be doing that. And right now you can look at our site, you can see what we're feeling safe about posting out there. And otherwise we have the online courses, but not to do too much promoting on this, but that was just, self-discovery. That's what this is about, and helping each other to discover who we really are and understand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you want to, I guess now we'll finish off the last promoting. If you do want to take a class, we have the online, you can get certified to be able to actually do these sessions. And if you'd like, you can go to the QHHT website, QHHTofficial.com, and Julia has a special coupon code of 10% off for the course. Mm-hmm. The coupon code is lots of love. Isn't that a sweet coupon code? Oh, lots of love.
Lots of love.
Everybody, lots of love. The site is Debbie Anderson. The site is QHHT Official.
Yes. That is true. Wonderful. I love you guys introducing yourselves. That is fantastic.
Yeah, there was a blitz. All of a sudden it went, "Durr!" and you saw all these different cities and people. And we're all over the world. We're on every continent except Antarctica. But, you know, one day, maybe we should have a class in Antarctica.
But you don't like cold. How are we going to do that?
Antarctica's in my soul portrait, though. There's Antarctica there. There's pyramids in Antarctica, and I had life in Antarctica. And it's in my soul portrait. So even though I don't like the cold at all, I do like those cute little penguins. Oh, those cute little penguins. They're so cute. And they find their loved ones by doing the like chirp, and there's like hundreds, tens of thousands of them chirping. They're like, but they understand the chirp of their loved one that went and like their mate, and then they come back. And then they're so cute when they pass the egg. It's like, here's the moment of truth. They're going to pass their egg. And they're like, oh, and you're rooting for them to pass the egg. I love these little penguin nature shows. There was one with Morgan Freeman that got my heart. Those cute little penguins. And then sometimes the egg drops and they're like, oh no, they dropped the egg. And you're like ready to cry. And then the blizzard comes in. This is totally off topic, but there's like 120-mile-an-hour hurricane winds and the penguins are all huddled up. And they're so cute in their community. They're all huddling up and they're kind of shaking. Like, it's cold. We're kind of like a group of penguins all together. You're all my penguins. I love you all. Penguins. I give you a chirp and a snuggle for all of you. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful session today. I really felt like there was some fire and some magic. And yeah, so much.
Fantastic.
We look forward to seeing you next week. We'll make the announcements on Dolores Cannon and QHHT, and we'll do it here as to where we're going to be.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's beautiful. I feel alive. I feel awake. I feel really like we're in the 5D world, and you're all my brothers and sisters and soulmates, and we're all in this together.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And I love you all. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for sharing. And I love you, Kaya. And I so appreciate you and everything that we do together. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.